Okay, I'm going to pretend to be on my phone and take on the airport. Someone take a photo. Set up a tripod. Okay, take my photo. Ready? Go. That's just what crosses my mind as a man. When it's just these photos, it's like I'm going to a bunch of places with my friend and asking him to take a photo with me, which to me that doesn't scream like high value lifestyle. To not use Instagram when you're trying to attract women is like trying to do art with a small little pencil, whereas the rest of us have a whole palette of beautiful paints to paint a picture of ourselves for the women to indulge in. So what we're going to do really quickly, I'm just going to briefly go over the reasons why it's important to use Instagram as a tool in your dating arsenal. I'm going to quickly go through the excuses why men choose not to use Instagram and debunk them. We're going to take a look at some winning Instagram profiles. We're also going to take a look at what sort of stories that you should be posting on your Instagram. So what are the main reasons that we should use Instagram in our dating lives? Well, the main reason, which I want to cover again and again and again, which I do so in our Telegram and our Facebook chats, is that Instagram gives you the opportunity to show off your best side to the women who you are meeting, okay? So if you are meeting a woman on the street or in a nightclub, you may have left a fantastic impression on her in the flesh, and that's a big part of what we teach people how to do on our YouTube channel and in our school group and all of these things. But the moment that you two separate, her memories and her emotions of your conversation, they fade a little bit, okay? So if you are hoping to swap contact details with the view to meet for a date sometime in the future, you need to be aware that she is slowly forgetting how awesome it was to meet you and how amazing she felt in your presence. By swapping Instagrams instead of phone numbers, you have a chance to create a digital impression which she can browse through at her leisure later on after you two have gone your separate ways, okay? This is your chance to brag about yourself digitally, but it doesn't come across as bragging because there is a accepted flexing culture on Instagram. Okay, so when we go on to look at some attractive Instagram profiles, we're going to see men doing awesome stuff. We're going to see pre-selection, men surrounded by other beautiful women. We're going to see men showing off perhaps their sense of humor. And a big one, the showing off a lifestyle that a woman would want to be a part of. Really quickly then, I'm just going to go over a few people's excuses why they choose to swap phone numbers like they're still gaming in 2008. I don't have time to use social media. I'm a busy guy, okay? Well, using Instagram is going to help you be a lot more efficient with your dating, with your message game, okay? Because women are going to see a profile of a guy that they want to... You're basically going to get flaked less because of the work you put into your Instagram. So it actually saves you time rather than wastes it. Women are more likely to message you back on WhatsApp or iMessage. If she gives you the phone number, that means that she's interested, okay? There's no data to prove that, but even if that is true, it still remains true that if women see that you have a good lifestyle and you're presenting that in your Instagram, they're more likely to come out after you swap Instagram with them. Instagram is bad for your mental health, okay? This is what some people say. I would recommend you just use Instagram for messaging women and curating your own profile. You don't really need to be engaging with other people's profiles. Create, don't consume. That's the phrase, isn't it? Create, don't consume. So that gets rid of that excuse. And then comes to the worst excuse of all that I've heard. I don't have any good photos. My lifestyle isn't that great. All right. So the guys who say this, they really, really piss me off. Okay, because this basically means, oh, I'm still swapping phone numbers instead of Instagram with girls because I want to hide the fact that my lifestyle sucks. I don't have an interesting life that I could invite her into. I don't have cool friends. I don't have good hobbies, or at the very least, I don't have any photos of these. So I'm just going to hide all that, and hopefully I can just get by on the 5-minute cold approach that I did on the street, okay? That is tricking women. That is manipulating women. Like the old school pickup artist community got so much controversy because they were accused of manipulating women. If you are hiding the fact that your lifestyle sucks and that's why you haven't curated a good Instagram profile, you're manipulating women, okay? We want to help women see how awesome we are, and the best way to do that is by swapping social media details. These first couple of profiles, these guys have taken a course by Michael Sartain. He has a definite style of Instagram profile that he recommends. Michael Sartain has been on the Game Global YouTube channel dozens of times at this point, and it's whenever I see like a men's profile curated like this, I can tell that they've been following Michael Sartain's advice, because all of these profiles look absolutely identical. He wants you to create loads of photos in new like, high value environments which are difficult to get into, and he always says that they have to be really zoomed out so that the environment is covering most of the picture, not you. He always says that men should look away as well. I'm sure there's some sort of psychology behind that. Everything Michael Sartain teaches is about evolutionary psychology. So anyway, here's an example of this from John Kinley, just 2,400 influencer event coordinator. So most of the guys taught by Michael Sartain, they're taught how to basically run events and invite girls to them on Instagram. This is something which I have dabbled with, but nowhere near at the scale what Michael Sartain teaches. If you're interested in throwing huge events, then definitely take a look at his channel, and he can teach you more about the throwing the events. Here, we're just going to take a look at the profile. Okay, so as I mentioned, he's just in these high value, difficult to access areas, always looking away from the camera. I guess what I'll say here, as we take a look at the next one, you're just alone. Okay, this one's great. This is what I was going to mention in the last one. Okay, this is, I guess, one of his photography events or something like that. I think it's really important to at least sprinkle a couple of these in your profile. Some of these guys who try to adopt like what Michael Sartain is recommending is just them on their own in these high status venues. And then if you just have these type of videos, so here I am looking away. Here I am looking away. Again, I don't know if it's just experienced eye. This just looks, when it's just these photos, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to a bunch of places with my friend and asking him to take a photo with me, which to me that doesn't scream like high value lifestyle, okay? But the rest of these look okay, set up a tripod. Okay, take my photo, ready, go. That's just what crosses my mind as a man. Perhaps there's some sort of female psychology why he says this is good. Like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to be on my phone and take on the airport, someone take a photo. That's how I see it, okay? What I want to see what I recommend to people is based on my success on Instagram as well. You want to be a guy who does a lot of cool shit. All right. That's the kind of guy you want to have a cool lifestyle, which women want to be a part of. Okay, again, this guy is kind of traveling, but he's just kind of standing next to things, you know? So that's what I don't like about these profiles. This one's good because it has this, okay? And he's got, so he's doing something, that's some sort of thing that he's doing with his life, some sort of hobby. To me, this guy just looks like he's standing next to things. As I said, I might not be fully versed on the psychology why people recommend to have this. Okay, he's surfing. He's surfing 64 photos, maybe more down. So that's something. I personally, the way I want to present myself is that I'm a cool guy that does a lot of cool shit, and you can come along if you're a gal. All right. Next one, I picked it because it was a good mix of the two. So, Max, photo videographer, event host, just like everyone who's taught by Michael Sartain. Yeah, do that with a few friends. I guess that might be fun time. Yes, look, better. He's surrounded by people. These are the sorts of photos that I would recommend. Okay, and we're gonna get into that in a lot more detail when we talk about the stories. Okay, surrounded by people. They're probably at his events that he throws. Okay, surrounded by people and a cool event. A cool event that women would want to go to. This is the sort of stuff I would love to see on you guys on your Instagram profiles as well. But he also has the is this Colombia? No, Thailand. And he has the okay, so the candid one. Okay, he goes to the gym. So again, even the gym, that's something. Again, doing cool shit. That is cool. That is better than standing next to things. Okay, here's my one. I've got a mix of both, okay? But I like to show myself doing cool stuff. I travel the world solo, okay? But I like to throw girls in my profile as well because in my experience, and we'll talk about this more in the stories, when pre-selection is the most powerful thing that you can show on your Instagram, as long as you do it in a subtle way, okay? Whenever I post hot chicks in my stories, I get DMs from other chicks who had ghosted me in the past. This is something I'll talk about later. Okay. I like this. Doing cool stuff, quad biking, doing cool stuff, big swing, scuba diving. I mean, running hills, playing pool. Here we go. Sandboarding, kayaking, surfing. This is how I wanted to show myself. Like, okay, and I'm surrounded by people. Okay, I threw parties in Peru for a while. Okay, on a big swing again, kayaking. About to go snorkeling. Surrounded by people. Cool shit, monkeys, parties. This is what I wanted to show to people. This is what has got me like good responses from girls in the DMs and my students as well. And you just really a big thing about Instagram, social media is showing that you have a cool lifestyle, other people like you, other hot girls like you, and you have cool stuff. If you meet me, um, from Tinder or from day game, if you come on a date with me, I have a sort of lifestyle which I can invite you to. That is the main thing that you want to do in your profiles. So stories, you want to post stories. Um, as often as possible. I would say try and, if you're out doing cool stuff, you should just take a shot of it, okay? It doesn't have to consume your whole life. You want to, if you're out doing cool stuff, it shouldn't be too much effort just to take a 15-second video of it. That you really only have to do one. A big excuse I hear is that, oh, I want to be present to the moment. I don't want to live my life for Instagram. You only have to take one photo of a cool shit you're doing or a video you're doing. Okay. Now, what the point I wanted to get across here is when you are including women in your Instagram stories, you want it to be like they're just they just happen to be there. Okay. That's the vibe. Oh, hot women are surrounded by me all the time. It's not a big deal to you. Okay. The worst thing you can do in your Instagram stories is be like, hey, and maybe I have was guilty of this a few times when I first started doing this in 2018, 2019. Um, but you don't want it to be like showing off, like, "Hey, I'm here with this hot girl. Isn't this amazing?" No, they just happen to be there. Okay, so I've got some examples of this. Um, we big screen this. We go back. Okay, so this one goes all the way back to 2020, but it's a good example. Like I'm talking to the camera. This chick, we're during COVID time, but she's just in the background. All right. But really, the story is about this. The other chick just happens to be in the background. Okay. And then she laughs at my joke at the end. But it's mostly about this. Okay. All right. So this was like a couple of young girls that I met out day gaming. I took them both to a coffee because they were together. Okay. And we're just goofing around. Her friend that takes this, we're doing this playful little arm wrestle. She films it and then I get her to send it to me. Um, this is in Indonesia. Anything where it's just like, oh, we're hanging out with girls and they're my friends, that is still good, okay? Because pre-selection, women just want to see that at the very least that women think it's safe to hang around you as a bonus they're having fun around you. If you see these two things, they don't have to be kissing you on the cheek. All right, they don't have to be like grinding up against you. Just something simple like this, if you can get it set up, can go you a long way into persuading women who were maybe unsure about you because they only met you on the street for 5 minutes, or they only matched you off of Tinder and they don't know nothing about you. Just playful things like this can really go a long way, and I'd encourage you to make them. All right. All right. Dates. You want to take Instagram stories on dates if you can. This is not a date. I took two girls to Bali Zoo, but again, she just happens to be there, right? The thing is about the animals and the zoo, but the women just happen to be there. That's the one thing you want. Okay, this again. Look, this was a magical moment. We're on a date and some random marimba players come along. And there, she just happens to be there, all right? She's in the background. This is what you need to do. This one is perhaps crossing the line, but again, it's me talking to the camera and she's in the forefront, but she kind of just happens to be there as well. Okay, here we're in Brazil. Okay, it's just me and Kieran talking to the camera, and the women just happen to be there in the background. Okay, we're not showing them off, but we're talking about Brazil. And if you just get a camera on a night out and just pull it out, like the women will just like they'll get excited because women, these club girls, they love attention, and they will just play up for the camera. And that's the sort of stuff that you want on your Instagram. You don't want to be like showing off like, oh, there's so many like amazing girls, I'm so cool. No, you just get out the camera and then the women will just jump into the shot. And these are the sort of things that impress other women. So we've got this one. I think we've got a couple more. Again, who's coming to the club? They just happen to be there. What is this song? They just happen to be there. If anything, I look almost annoyed. Okay, telling a story to the camera. Guess what? She just happens to be there. Okay. Fucking incredible. Look at him, Okay. So that's the main message that I wanted to get across with that. I've got a couple of categories of stuff that's okay to post. Okay. All right. Goofy filters. So that way you're so we've got a song, we've got a goofy filter. This is fine. It's not as good as them it's not as cool as being just happen to be there. Okay. Strong opinions on stuff. If you post strong opinions on stuff, especially like the women in your area are gonna have like they're gonna want to reply. You're basically baiting them to reply. So if you've just met, this one's in Mexico. If you've just met a bunch of people in Mexico and you want them to like, continue the conversation with you, you post something like this. So that's like a cherished snack in Mexico. So if you post a story saying what the hell is this? It tastes like toxic dirt, then you're gonna get engagement. Another example, this one's in Ecuador. So in Ecuador, you need to watch out for this. Okay, if you're traveling the world, people love when you post about your opinions as a foreigner on their country. So this is the funny stuff that happens in the club in Ecuador. All right, so this one's in Spanish. You're asking a question to your followers. So this says in Spanish, who wants to watch the football game on Thursday? That's fine too. Because you're not asking one specific girl if she wants to come, it's fine. You're just putting it out there. That gives her an option, the women in your life to like reach out to you as gives basically putting out feelers. Yeah, and basically cool stuff you see around the city. Again, every story you post gives people the opportunity to reach out to you. Okay, kind of what I said before. You don't want to post anything that's just like, look at this pretty girl I'm with. Women are going to see through that. They're going to think it's totally lame. It should never be focused just on the women. So this ain't stuff that I posted. So those are just some examples. of the stories. We'll have a Q&A time towards the end. But what I really wanted to get to now is, okay, how do you have women follow you on Instagram? Well, the main strategy that I would recommend for you guys is that when you're going out and meeting women in real life, instead of swapping phone numbers, you should swap Instagram. When you have when things are going well on a dating app, you don't ask them to swap numbers, you swap Instagram, okay? Just stack as many leads as you can on Instagram and not on your phone number for the reasons that we've talked about. Okay, but there is one extra thing which I'm just going to save for you guys here on the live call, and not for the guys on YouTube. This is just for you VIP guys, you guys that paid to be in our VIP school group. This is like the extra secret sauce that I want to give you. I don't want to share this with too many people, because if thousands of guys, if this found out about this and started doing it, it wouldn't work as well. Okay.